In the dimly lit corridors of the human psyche, where shadows dance and flicker against the walls of self-awareness, there exists a labyrinthine expanse known as narcissism. It is within these winding paths that the conflict between light and darkness unfolds, a timeless struggle that permeates the very essence of what it means to be human. This narrative explores the intricate dynamics of narcissism, a psychological construct as enigmatic as it is pervasive. It delves into the depths of self-admiration and the often unrelenting pursuit of validation, where the allure of the mirror becomes a prison of one's own making. The narcissist, much like the mythical figure Narcissus, is entranced by their reflection, yet blinded by its brilliance. Here, the mirror is both a friend and foe, a source of power and a harbinger of isolation. Amidst this internal battle, the forces of light and darkness vie for supremacy. Light, with its promise of empathy, connection, and understanding, seeks to illuminate the path towards self-awareness and growth. It whispers of vulnerability as strength and the beauty of humility. Darkness, on the other hand, tempts with the seductive call of power, control, and the intoxicating allure of self-importance. It thrives in the shadows of insecurity, feeding on the fear of inadequacy and the need for external affirmation. The characters within this tale are not mere spectators. They are both architects and victims of their own narratives. Each chapter unveils the complexities of their inner worlds, revealing the duality of their desires and the consequences of their choices. As the story unfolds, the reader is invited to ponder profound questions. What does it mean to truly see oneself? Can one break free from the chains of self-obsession? And ultimately, is redemption possible in a world where light and darkness are inextricably intertwined? This exploration of narcissism is not just a psychological examination, but a mirror held up to society itself. It challenges us to reflect on our own lives, to question where we stand in this eternal struggle, and to consider the paths we tread in the pursuit of self-identity and fulfillment. Herein lies a tale that is as much about self-discovery as it is about the universal quest for balance between the forces that shape our lives. The Alluring Mask. Introduction to the Facade. In the quiet corridors of the mind, the narcissist crafts an elaborate facade, a meticulous tapestry woven with threads of charm, charisma, and apparent confidence. This facade, like a carefully constructed mask, is not merely an accessory, but an essential part of their identity. It is a reflection of their deepest desires and insecurities, a shield against the vulnerabilities they fear exposing to the world. From the moment you encounter a narcissist, you are drawn into their orbit by an almost magnetic allure. Their presence commands attention, their words filled with a self-assuredness that is both captivating and intimidating. Yet beneath this polished exterior lies a complex and often turbulent inner world, hidden from view, shielded by the facade they have perfected over time. The facade serves multiple purposes for the narcissist, acting as both a defense mechanism and a tool for manipulation. It is a carefully curated image that projects strength and invulnerability, diverting attention away from any perceived flaws or weaknesses. This image is not static. It is adaptable, shifting to suit different audiences and situations, ensuring that the narcissist remains the center of attention, admired and envied by those around them. To the untrained eye, the facade may appear flawless, a seamless blend of confidence and competence. However, for those who look closer, subtle cracks may begin to appear, revealing glimpses of insecurity and self-doubt that lie beneath. The narcissist is acutely aware of these imperfections, and they expend considerable energy maintaining the illusion, constantly vigilant against any threat that might expose their true nature. At its core, the facade is a manifestation of the narcissist's need for validation and admiration. It is a means of controlling how others perceive them, ensuring that they are seen in the best possible light. This need for external affirmation is insatiable, driving the narcissist to seek out situations where they can shine. basking in the adulation of those around them. Yet the facade is not without its challenges. It requires constant upkeep, a relentless effort to maintain the appearance of flawlessness. This can be exhausting, leaving the narcissist in a state of perpetual tension, always on guard against any slip that might betray their carefully cultivated image. The slightest hint of criticism or rejection can feel like a personal attack, threatening to unravel the facade and expose the vulnerabilities they so desperately seek to hide. For those who dare to look beyond the facade, the narcissist's true self may be revealed, a complex mosaic of contradictions, driven by an intense fear of inadequacy and a desperate need for acceptance. Understanding the intricacies of this facade is key to navigating the world of the narcissist, providing insight into the motivations that drive their behavior and the lengths they will go to protect their carefully constructed identity. In the dance of deception and perception, the facade is both the narcissist's greatest strength and their most profound vulnerability, a duality that defines their existence and shapes their interactions with the world around them. As we delve deeper into the layers of the narcissist's persona, the facade remains a central theme, a testament to the power of self-perception and the lengths to which one will go to preserve it. Crafting a perfect image. Beneath the surface of every narcissist lies an intricate tapestry of self-constructed illusions, meticulously woven to project an image of perfection to the outside world. This art of crafting an impeccable facade is not merely a skill, but a way of life. An essential strategy in the narcissist is pursuit of admiration and validation. Every morning begins with an elaborate ritual of preparation. Standing before the mirror, the narcissist observes their reflection with a critical eye, scrutinizing each feature. The process is akin to an artist preparing a canvas, where every detail must be flawless. The hair is coiffed to perfection, the attire is selected with precision, and the accessories are chosen to complement, not overshadow, the ensemble. This visual presentation is merely the first layer of the constructed persona. Yet, the narcissist's image is not confined to physical appearance alone. It extends into the realm of behavior and social interactions. In conversations, each word is chosen with care, every gesture is calculated, and the tone of voice is modulated to convey confidence and charm. The ability to exude charisma is a finely honed skill, cultivated over years of practice and observation. The narcissist is adept at reading their audience, adjusting their demeanor to suit the preferences and expectations of those around them. Social media platforms become a stage where the narcissist performs their carefully curated life. Every post, every picture, every comment is selected to reinforce the narrative of a life lived in seemingly perfect life. Vacations are documented with picturesque backdrops, accomplishments are broadcast with humble brags, and relationships are depicted as idyllic partnerships. The digital persona is an extension of the physical one, both working in tandem to maintain the appearance of flawlessness. Underneath this polished veneer, however, lies a stark contrast. The pursuit of a perfect image is a relentless endeavor, fraught with anxiety and insecurity. The narcissist is acutely aware of the fragility of their facade and the constant threat of exposure. This awareness fuels an insatiable need for external validation, a dependence on the admiration of others to reinforce their self-worth. In social settings, the narcissist is often the center of attention, regaling audiences with tales of personal triumphs and extraordinary experiences. Yet, these stories are often embellished or exaggerated, carefully constructed to captivate and impress. The narcissist's interactions are marked by a transactional nature, where relationships are maintained as long as they serve the purpose of enhancing the constructed persona. The perfectionist's quest is not without its sacrifices. Genuine connections become rare, as the narcissist prioritizes image over authenticity. The fear of vulnerability and rejection prevents the development of deep, meaningful relationships, leaving the narcissist isolated despite their outward appearance of social success. To the outside observer, the narcissist's life appears enviable, a testament to their ability to craft a perfect image. Yet, beneath the surface, the relentless pursuit of this ideal reveals a life of contradictions, where the demands of maintaining the facade often overshadow the pursuit of genuine happiness and fulfillment. The perfect image, though captivating, remains a carefully constructed illusion, constantly in need of reinforcement and validation. The art of charm. The room glows with a soft, ambient light, casting a gentle hue over the polished surfaces and plush furnishings. It is a sanctuary of allure, a haven where the air itself seems to shimmer with an intoxicating blend of charisma and confidence. Here, in this carefully curated space, the art of charm is not merely practiced, it is perfected. The protagonist, a figure of undeniable magnetism, moves with an effortless grace that captures the attention of every soul present. Eyes follow, drawn in by an invisible thread woven from the silken strands of charisma. Every gesture, every smile, is a carefully calculated performance designed to enchant and enthrall. In conversation, words flow like honey, smooth and sweet, each syllable meticulously chosen to seduce the senses. There is a rhythm to the dialogue, a dance of words that leaves listeners spellbound. The tone is warm and inviting, yet there is an underlying sharpness, a wit that cuts through the air with precision. It is this balance between warmth and edge that forms the essence of charm, a delicate equilibrium that few can master. The art of charm is not solely about words, however. It is an intricate tapestry woven from countless threads of nonverbal communication, a subtle nod, a lingering gaze, the slightest tilt of the head. Each movement is deliberate, a silent symphony that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. The eyes, windows to the soul, flicker with a knowing light, hinting at hidden depths and untold stories. Clothing, too, plays a vital role in this captivating performance. Fabrics drape the body with an elegance that appears effortless, yet each piece is chosen with meticulous care. The colors, textures, and cuts are an extension of the persona, a visual language that complements the spoken word. Yet beneath the polished exterior lies a complexity that is both fascinating and formidable. The art of charm is not merely a facade, it is a reflection of the intricate layers of personality that define the individual. It is the interplay of light and shadow, the duality of vulnerability and strength that captivates and confounds. To witness the art of charm is to be drawn into a world where reality and illusion blur, where the lines between truth and deception are artfully obscured. It is a seductive dance that leaves one questioning the authenticity of the experience, even as they revel in its beauty. The protagonist, with their commanding presence and effortless charm, is a master of this art. They glide through the room, leaving a trail of admiration and intrigue in their wake. Yet, as the evening unfolds, a question lingers in the air. Is this enchantment a gift or a guise? In the end, the art of charm is a mystery, a captivating conundrum that beckons to be unraveled, even as it remains tantalizingly out of reach. This ability to manipulate how others perceive them is not merely a skill, but a defining characteristic that allows the narcissist to thrive in various social environments. It is through this manipulation that they maintain control, ensuring that their carefully constructed image remains untarnished. Narcissists possess an uncanny ability to blend into any social setting, adapting their persona to suit the audience at hand. They are chameleons in the truest sense, shifting colors to match the expectations and desires of those they seek to influence. This adaptability is not born out of genuine empathy or understanding, but rather an acute awareness of what will garner admiration and attention. The narcissist's primary objective is to be seen as superior, and they will go to great lengths to curate an image that reflects this. Central to this manipulation is the art of storytelling. Narcissists often weave narratives that cast themselves in a heroic light, embellishing their accomplishments while downplaying or outright denying any flaws or failures. These stories are carefully crafted to evoke admiration and envy, drawing others into their web of influence. It is not uncommon for the narcissist to rewrite history, presenting a version of events that aligns with their desired self-image, regardless of the truth. Moreover, the narcissist's charm plays a pivotal role in manipulating perceptions. They are often charismatic individuals, exuding confidence and allure that captivates those around them. This charm is a tool of persuasion, allowing the narcissist to bend others to their will without overt coercion. They know how to make others feel special, valued, and understood, creating a sense of intimacy and trust that can be easily exploited. The narcissist's ability to manipulate perceptions extends beyond individual interactions to encompass entire social circles. They are adept at creating alliances and sowing discord among groups, pitting individuals against one another to maintain their position of power. By controlling the narrative and influencing how others perceive each other, the narcissist ensures that they remain the focal point around which all interactions revolve. Yet, perhaps the most insidious aspect of this manipulation is the narcissist's capacity to make others question their own perceptions. Through subtle gaslighting techniques, they plant seeds of doubt in the minds of those around them, causing individuals to second-guess their own experiences and judgments. This psychological manipulation can leave victims feeling disoriented and powerless, unable to trust their own senses or instincts. In the end, the narcissist's manipulation of perceptions is a testament to their profound understanding of human psychology. They exploit weaknesses and insecurities, capitalizing on the innate human desire for approval and acceptance. In doing so, they construct a reality that serves their needs, leaving a trail of confusion and self-doubt in their wake. To understand the narcissist is to recognize the power of perception and the lengths to which some will go to maintain their carefully crafted facade. The power of first impressions. The room was awash with a soft, golden light that seemed to dance off the polished surfaces, casting an inviting glow. As the guests trickled in, their eyes immediately gravitated towards the figure at the center. With an air of effortless charisma, Adrian stood poised, his presence commanding attention without uttering a single word. It was as if the very atmosphere shifted to accommodate him, bending to the gravity of his unspoken influence. Adrian's attire was a testament to meticulous care, a tailored suit that draped over him like a second skin, accentuating his lean physique. His hair, a cascade of dark, wavy locks, was neatly styled, yet appeared as though a gentle breeze had just tousled it into perfection. Every element of his appearance seemed designed to captivate, to draw people in like moths to a flame. Yet, it was not merely his appearance that left an indelible mark. It was the way he moved, the deliberate grace with which he navigated the room, acknowledging each person with a subtle nod or a fleeting smile. His eyes, a piercing shade of blue, seemed to see through the superficial, locking on to his audience with an intensity that made each individual feel as though they were the sole focus of his attention. There was a magnetic quality to his gaze, a silent promise of deeper understanding and connection. Conversations erupted around him, animated and lively, as people vied for a moment of his time, a fragment of his interest. He listened intently, his head inclined slightly as though absorbing every word with genuine curiosity. When he spoke, his voice was smooth, each word carefully chosen to convey warmth and intelligence. His laughter, a deep, resonant sound, punctuated the air, inviting others to join in the shared mirth. In the span of a few moments, Adrian had woven a tapestry of first impressions that would linger long after the evening had concluded. His ability to connect, to leave an imprint, was not merely a skill, but an art form honed to perfection. It was a dance of perception, orchestrating the subtle nuances of body language, tone, and expression to create an aura of allure and sophistication. Yet beneath the surface of this carefully constructed persona lay the essence of the narcissist, the intricate play of self-assurance and vulnerability, the insatiable need for admiration and validation. It was a delicate balance, this interplay of outward confidence and inner fragility, a performance executed with precision and poise. The power of first impressions in Adrian's world was not just a fleeting encounter, but a calculated endeavor. It was the foundation upon which relationships were built or discarded, a chess game of social maneuvering where every move was deliberate and strategic. In this realm, first impressions were the currency of influence, the key to unlocking doors and forging connections that could propel one to greater heights. As the evening drew to a close and the guests began to disperse, the echoes of Adrian's presence lingered. Conversations carried whispers of his charm, his enigmatic allure woven into the fabric of their memories. In the grand tapestry of human interaction, Adrian had mastered the art of first impressions, leaving an indelible mark on all who had the fortune or misfortune of crossing his path. Behind the mirror. Glimpses of insecurity. In the dim, shadowy corners of self-reflection, where one's true essence often lies hidden, the flicker of insecurity makes its presence known. It is subtle, like a whisper in a crowded room, yet its impact is profound, shaping the very fabric of identity. This elusive yet potent feeling manifests in myriad ways, often cloaked in the guise of confidence and bravado. For the narcissist, insecurity is a silent companion, always lurking but seldom acknowledged. It is the unseen force that propels them towards the constant need for admiration and validation. Their grandeur is a carefully constructed facade, a mirage meticulously designed to mask the vulnerabilities beneath. The need to project perfection stems from an internal chasm of self-doubt, a void that echoes with the fear of inadequacy. In social settings, these insecurities play out in intricate dances of interaction. The narcissist, with their charismatic charm, commands the room, drawing others into their orbit. Yet beneath the surface of this magnetic allure lies a keen sensitivity to perceived slights and criticisms. A casual remark, innocuous to most, can trigger a cascade of self-doubt, sending ripples through their constructed self-image. The slightest hint of criticism can unravel the threads of their carefully woven persona, exposing the raw, tender insecurities beneath. The narcissist's relationships often become battlegrounds where these insecurities are both hidden and exposed. Partners and friends find themselves entangled in a web of expectations and projections, where affection is conditional and approval is a currency. The fear of abandonment looms large, though seldom admitted. It is this fear that fuels their need for control, as they strive to keep those they cherish within their grasp, often at the cost of genuine connection. In their professional lives, these insecurities can drive the narcissist to great heights, as they seek to prove their worth through achievements and accolades. Yet, success is a double-edged sword, offering both validation and the constant pressure to maintain the illusion of flawlessness. The fear of failure, of being exposed as less than perfect, is a specter that haunts their every endeavor. This fear can lead to a relentless pursuit of perfection, a tireless effort to outshine peers and secure their place at the pinnacle. Despite the armor of arrogance, the narcissist is acutely aware of their own fallibility. It is this awareness that fuels their insecurities, creating a paradoxical cycle of self-assurance and self-doubt. The need for external validation becomes a lifeline, a means of quelling the internal turmoil that threatens to surface. In the quiet moments of solitude, when the masks are momentarily set aside, the narcissist confronts their insecurities head-on. It is in these moments that the true nature of their vulnerabilities is laid bare, offering a glimpse into the core of their being. Here, amidst the shadows of uncertainty, lies the potential for growth and self-awareness, should they choose to embrace it. Yet, this journey toward self-discovery is fraught with challenges, as the narcissist grapples with the duality of their existence, caught between the desire for validation and the fear of exposure. The fragile ego, in the dimly lit corridors of the mind where shadows stretch and whisper, lies the fragile ego of the narcissist. It is a realm where mirrors are not merely reflections, but conduits of validation, where the slightest crack can shatter the entire facade. The narcissist's ego, a delicate tapestry woven from threads of self-admiration and external adulation, is paradoxically both their fortress and their Achilles heel. At first glance, the narcissist presents a visage of unwavering confidence, a persona carefully constructed to captivate and charm. This exterior, polished with the sheen of self-assuredness, conceals the underlying fragility that trembles beneath the surface. It is a fragile mask, beautiful yet brittle, ever vulnerable to the slightest tremor of criticism or indifference. Beneath this veneer, the narcissist's ego is a volatile entity, perpetually seeking affirmation to maintain its equilibrium. Each compliment serves as a balm, soothing the ego's incessant need for validation. Yet, like a vessel with a slow leak, the ego demands constant replenishment, for the approval it craves is ephemeral, slipping through fingers like sand. The world through the narcissist's eyes is a stage, and they, the central performer, demand the spotlight. Applause is their sustenance, and adoration, their lifeblood. Yet, lurking in the wings is the specter of doubt, ready to pounce should the applause falter. This fear of obscurity, of fading into the backdrop, gnaws at the fringes of their consciousness, propelling them to ever grander displays of self-promotion. When faced with criticism, the narcissist's ego recoils, as if touched by a flame. The response is swift and defensive, a reflexive shield against the perceived threat. To the narcissist, criticism is not merely a challenge to their actions, but a direct affront to their very essence. It is a betrayal, a chink in their armor that threatens to unravel their carefully constructed identity. In relationships, the fragility of the narcissist's ego manifests in a dance of manipulation and control. Partners become mirrors, reflecting the narcissist's desired image back to them. Any deviation from this reflection is met with disdain, for it disrupts the narrative the narcissist seeks to uphold. Love, for the narcissist, is conditional, contingent upon the unwavering admiration they receive. Yet amidst this intricate web of self-preservation, there lies a poignant irony. The narcissist's quest for invulnerability renders them perpetually vulnerable. In their pursuit of perfection, they are ensnared by imperfection, for the human condition is inherently flawed. The very nature of their ego, so desperately shielded, is what leaves them exposed. The fragile ego of the narcissist is a paradox, a dichotomy of strength and weakness, confidence and insecurity. It is a landscape of contradictions, where the desire for greatness is perpetually at odds with the fear of insignificance. Within this delicate balance, the narcissist navigates their world, ever vigilant, ever striving, ever fragile. Such is the nature of the fragile ego, an enigma cloaked in the guise of certainty, yet poised on the precipice of its own undoing. Fear of exposure. In the dimly lit corners of the narcissist's psyche lies a fear as potent as it is concealed. This fear, a silent specter, haunts their every move, dictating the careful construction of their public facade. It is the fear of exposure, a dread that their carefully constructed image might be shattered, revealing the vulnerable core they so desperately seek to hide. Every interaction is a calculated dance, a performance where the narcissist is both the director and the star. The audience, unwitting participants in this grand play, see only what the narcissist allows them to see, a persona of perfection, confidence, and superiority. But beneath the polished veneer lies a different reality, one fraught with insecurities and self-doubt. The fear of exposure drives them to maintain this illusion at all costs. It is a fear that manifests in myriad ways. In the workplace, the narcissist might mask their inadequacies with pretended expertise, projecting an air of authority that brooks no challenge. They are often the loudest voice in the room, the one who appears to have all the answers. Yet, this bravado is a fragile shield, easily pierced by the sharp blade of truth. The possibility of being unmasked, of being seen as less than capable, is a threat that looms large, casting a long shadow over their perceived success. In personal relationships, the fear of exposure is even more pronounced. Here, the stakes are higher, the risks of vulnerability more acute. The narcissist's charm is intoxicating, drawing others into their orbit with promises of admiration and adoration. But this charm is a double-edged sword, wielded to keep others at a distance even as it pulls them closer. Any hint of criticism or perceived slight is met with swift retribution, a defense mechanism designed to protect the fragile ego from crumbling under scrutiny. The narcissist's fear of exposure is not merely about being seen as imperfect, it is the terror of being seen at all, of having their true self revealed. This fear drives them to control every aspect of their narrative, to curate their life as one might curate an art gallery, selecting only the most flattering pieces for display. Social media becomes a battleground where the narcissist wages a relentless war for validation, each like and comment a small victory in the fight against invisibility. Yet the fear of exposure is not without its paradoxes. In their quest for admiration, the narcissist inadvertently exposes themselves to the very thing they fear. Their insatiable need for attention often leads to overreach, to moments where the mask slips and glimpses of the truth emerge. These moments are fleeting, quickly covered up with charm or aggression, but they leave a trail of suspicion in their wake. The fear of exposure is a prison of the narcissist's own making, a self-imposed exile from authenticity. It is a fear that drives them to seek solace in the superficial, to find comfort in the admiration of strangers rather than the acceptance of self. And yet, it is this very fear that keeps them trapped in a cycle of deception and denial, forever running from the truth that lies just beneath the surface. In the end, the greatest fear of all may be the fear of facing themselves. The illusion of control. In the intricate dance of human interactions, the narcissist occupies a unique role, a performer on a stage of their own creation. With an air of unyielding confidence, they weave a tapestry of influence, convincing those around them of their omnipotence. This illusion of control is not merely a facade, but a carefully constructed reality, one that they masterfully manipulate to maintain their perceived dominance. The world, through the eyes of a narcissist, is a chessboard where every piece is theirs to command. They are the grandmasters, orchestrating moves with precision, ensuring that every decision, every action aligns with their grandiose vision of self. To those ensnared in their web, it appears as though the narcissist holds the keys to every door, the answers to every question, and the solutions to every problem. Yet, beneath this veneer of authority lies a labyrinth of insecurity. The narcissist's need for control stems from a deep-seated fear of vulnerability and failure. They construct elaborate barriers, shielding themselves from the chaos of uncertainty. By dictating the terms of engagement, they create a world where unpredictability is minimized and their superiority is unchallenged. The illusion is maintained through a series of subtle manipulations and overt displays of power. The narcissist is adept at reading the room, sensing the desires and fears of those around them. They exploit these insights, tailoring their interactions to reinforce their control. A well-timed compliment or a calculated critique can sway opinions, bend wills, and reinforce their dominance. In relationships, this control manifests as a constant push and pull. Partners, friends, and colleagues find themselves walking on eggshells, adapting their behaviors to avoid the narcissist's wrath or earn their favor. The narcissist wields emotional currency like a skilled trader, bestowing affection as a reward and withdrawing it as a punishment. This dynamic extends beyond personal interactions to professional environments, where the narcissist often ascends to positions of power. Here, their illusion of control is bolstered by hierarchical structures. They thrive in environments where they can dictate terms, often leaving colleagues in a state of perpetual uncertainty. Their decisions are presented as irrefutable, their strategies unquestionable, and dissent is met with swift retribution. However, as with any illusion, cracks begin to appear over time. The narcissist's need for control becomes all-consuming, leading to micromanagement and paranoia. Relationships strain under the weight of manipulation and deceit, as those once enthralled by their charisma begin to see through the charade. The narcissist, once the puppeteer, finds themselves entangled in their own strings as the very control they sought slips through their fingers. In this delicate balance of power, the narcissist remains a figure both commanding and fragile. Their world, built on the illusion of control, is a testament to the complexity of human nature, a reminder that beneath the surface of confidence often lies a tempest of doubt and fear. The illusion, while powerful, is ultimately unsustainable, a fleeting construct in the ever-shifting landscape of human relationships. The inner turmoil. The world outside might have seemed calm and unperturbed, but within the confines of a single mind, a tempest brewed with a ferocity unmatched by any physical storm. The narcissist, often covered in layers of confidence and grandiosity, harbored a tumultuous chaos beneath the polished exterior. This was a realm where self-doubt and insecurity waged a relentless war against the image of perfection carefully constructed for the eyes of others. In the solitude of his dimly lit study, he sat in an overstuffed armchair surrounded by the artifacts of his curated life. The walls were adorned with accolades and portraits, each a testament to the persona he projected. Yet these symbols of success and admiration were mere paper shields against the gnawing disquiet that gnawed at his soul. The silence of the room was punctuated only by the ticking of a clock, each second a reminder of the time slipping away, of opportunities seized or squandered. It was in these moments of solitude that the facade began to crack, revealing the fragile core beneath. His thoughts, usually a well-ordered procession of self-affirmations, turned chaotic, a cacophony of contradictions. He questioned the sincerity of every compliment, the loyalty of every friend, and the authenticity of every relationship. Were they drawn to him, or merely the image he projected? The doubt was insidious, creeping into his consciousness like a shadow, darkening the edges of his mind. He pondered the possibility that his accomplishments were not the result of his brilliance, but rather the byproduct of manipulation and deceit. These thoughts, once buried deep, now surfaced with a vengeance, challenging his very sense of self. He wrestled with the notion that perhaps he was not the protagonist of his story, but rather a villain in disguise, a puppet master tangled in his own strings. The realization was suffocating, a weight pressing down upon him with an intensity that left him gasping for breath. In an attempt to quell the rising tide of anxiety, he reached for a glass of bourbon, the amber liquid offering a temporary escape from the prison of his thoughts. The warmth spread through his veins, dulling the edges of his inner turmoil, but it was a fleeting reprieve. The shadows lingered, ever present, waiting in the periphery of his consciousness. The narcissist longed for the validation of others, yet feared their judgment. He craved connection, yet built walls so high that none could scale them. His life was a paradox, a delicate balance of self-adoration and deep self-criticism, each feeding off the other in a vicious cycle. As the night wore on, he remained ensnared in his own mind, a prisoner of his insecurities and ambitions. The clock continued its relentless march forward, indifferent to the turmoil within. And so he sat, enveloped in the silence, a solitary figure in a world of his own making, grappling with the demons that lurked within the depths of his soul. It was a battle with no clear victor, only a weary combatant locked in an eternal struggle with himself. The seduction of admiration, craving the spotlight. In the dimly lit room, the air hung heavy with anticipation, a palpable tension that thrummed through the crowd like an electric current. The stage, a modestly elevated platform, sat at the far end of the room, adorned with a simple spotlight whose beam cut through the shadows, casting a solitary glow. It was here, in this arena of admiration and applause, that the central figure of our story thrived. The audience, a sea of eager faces, craned their necks in unison, eyes fixated on the stage. Whispers of expectation fluttered through the air, like leaves caught in a gentle breeze. The atmosphere was charged with an unspoken promise, one that only the main act could fulfill. Among them, she stood a woman whose very essence seemed to draw light unto herself, like a celestial body. Her entrance was not announced with fanfare or grand gestures. Instead, it was her presence, an intangible magnetism that pulled the gaze of every soul in the room. With a grace that seemed almost rehearsed, she moved to the center of the stage. Her face, a canvas of perfect features, bore an expression of poised confidence, as though she were a queen surveying her kingdom. Her eyes, deep pools of mystery and allure, scanned the audience with a knowing gaze. They were windows to a soul that craved validation, a soul that had learned to dance in the glow of adulation. Her lips, painted in the deep red of ambition, curved into a smile that promised enchantment and intrigue. As she began to speak, her voice, a rich, melodic timbre, filled the room, enveloping the listeners in a cocoon of charisma. Words flowed from her like honey, sweet and viscous, each syllable crafted to captivate and convince. She spoke of dreams and desires, of challenges overcome and victories savored, weaving a narrative that was as much about her as it was about the audience's unspoken admiration. Every gesture, every inflection, was meticulously calibrated to elicit applause, to evoke the intoxicating symphony of approval that was her lifeblood. She reveled in the adoration, a flower soaking up the sun's rays, each clap and cheer a testament to her perceived brilliance. Yet, beneath the polished exterior, beneath the veneer of self-assuredness, lay a fragile heart, one that beat to the rhythm of insecurity and doubt. It was this dichotomy that fueled her relentless pursuit of the spotlight, a never-ending quest for affirmation that could never quite quell the whispering doubts. As the performance reached its crescendo, the room erupted in a chorus of applause, a standing ovation that wrapped around her like a warm embrace. For a moment, she basked in the glow of her triumph, a radiant star in her own universe. But as the lights dimmed and the curtain fell, she was left with the silence, a stark reminder of the void that applause could never fill. In the quiet aftermath, as she stepped off the stage, the echoes of adulation still ringing in her ears, she knew that the spotlight would call to her again. It was a craving that could never be satiated, a hunger that would drive her back to the stage, time and time again, in search of the validation she so desperately sought. The need for validation. In the intricate tapestry of human relationships, the figure of the narcissist stands out, not merely as a self-absorbed individual, but as a complex persona driven by an insatiable thirst for affirmation. This incessant need for validation can be likened to a bottomless well, where even the most lavish praises and acknowledgments seem to evaporate, leaving behind a parched soul yearning for more. From the moment a narcissist steps into a room, there is an almost palpable shift in the atmosphere. Their presence demands attention, drawing eyes and ears toward them as if they were the sun around which all planets must orbit. This gravitational pull is not merely a function of their charisma or charm, but is deeply rooted in their unrelenting quest for external validation. For the narcissist, every encounter is an opportunity to extract admiration, a chance to fortify their fragile self-esteem. The origins of this craving often trace back to formative years, where seeds of insecurity may have been sown. Perhaps there was a lack of consistent affirmation during childhood, or maybe the individual was subjected to conditional love, where approval was contingent upon performance or achievement. Whatever the cause, the result is a profound void that the narcissist seeks to fill through the accolades of others. In social gatherings, the narcissist's need for validation manifests in various ways. They might dominate conversations, steering discussions toward their own achievements and experiences. Their stories, often embellished, are crafted to elicit admiration and awe from their audience. Compliments are not merely appreciated. They are absorbed and stored, serving as temporary patches for the ever-present void within. This need for external affirmation extends beyond social settings and seeps into personal relationships. Partners, friends, and family members often find themselves caught in a cycle of giving and receiving validation. Attempts to establish boundaries or provide constructive criticism are frequently met with resistance or even hostility, as the narcissist perceives these actions as threats to their carefully constructed self-image. The digital age has further amplified this pursuit of validation. Social media platforms serve as fertile ground for narcissists, offering an endless stream of potential admirers. Every post, every like, every comment becomes a metric of self-worth. The curated online persona often projects an image of perfection, a facade meticulously maintained to ensure a steady flow of digital praise. Despite their outward confidence, narcissists often harbor deep-seated insecurities. The paradox lies in their dependence on others for validation, despite their apparent self-sufficiency. This dependency creates a cycle of neediness, where the narcissist is forever chasing the next compliment, the next recognition, the next moment of adoration. Understanding the underlying need for validation offers insight into the behavior of narcissists. It reveals the internal struggles masked by their outward bravado and highlights the delicate balance they strive to maintain between their inner vulnerabilities and external personas. The quest for validation is not merely a trait of the narcissist, but a defining element of their existence, shaping interactions and molding relationships in a continuous pursuit of self-worth. The cycle of praise, in the labyrinth of social interactions, where the echo of validation reverberates, the narcissist finds their playground. Here, they carefully construct a reality where admiration flows endlessly, each compliment a brick in the edifice of their self-worth. The cycle of praise is not merely a desire. It is the lifeblood of their existence, a perpetual motion machine that fuels their identity. The dance begins with charm, an irresistible allure that draws others into their orbit. Like moths to a flame, people are captivated, unaware of the intricate web being woven around them. The narcissist, with an innate understanding of human desires, knows precisely which strings to pull. Their words are honeyed, their gestures calculated to elicit adoration. Compliments are dispensed with precision, each one a seed planted to ensure a future harvest of admiration. In this cycle, praise is not just received, it is cultivated. The narcissist becomes the conductor of an orchestra, directing the symphony of approval that plays to their tune. They skillfully navigate conversations, steering them toward topics that shine a spotlight on their achievements, their beauty, and their intelligence. Each nod, each word of admiration, is absorbed and stored, a reservoir of validation to draw upon in times of need. Yet, this cycle is not without its complexities. As the supply of praise ebbs and flows, the narcissist must adapt, ever vigilant for signs of diminishing returns. When admiration wanes, they are quick to recalibrate, adjusting their tactics to recapture the attention they crave. They may shift personas, adopting new interests, or reinventing their narrative, all in the service of reigniting the flames of adulation. To those ensnared in their orbit, the cycle can be dizzying. One moment, they are basking in the glow of the narcissist's attention. The next, they find themselves sidelined, their praise no longer sufficient. This push and pull creates a dependency, a yearning to regain favor and return to the warmth of approval. It is in these moments of scarcity that the narcissist's true mastery is revealed. They dole out validation sparingly, transforming it into a precious commodity. Like a desert wanderer glimpsing an oasis, those around them strive to earn each drop of praise, unaware they are fueling the very cycle that ensnares them. The cycle of praise is a delicate balance, a high-wire act performed without a safety net. For the narcissist, it is both a source of power and a prison of their own making. They are forever bound to the pursuit of admiration, their self-worth tethered to the opinions of others. In this relentless quest, they become both the architect and the captive of their own design. Thus the cycle continues, an unending loop of desire and fulfillment. In the world of the narcissist, praise is the currency of choice, a transaction that defines their relationships and shapes their reality. It is a cycle that, once begun, is difficult to break, for it is woven into the very fabric of their being. The euphoria of attention. In the dim glow of the spotlight, the world shrinks to a singular focus, an intoxicating beam that dances across the stage of consciousness, illuminating the very essence of being seen. It's in this precise moment that the heart beats in sync with the rhythmic applause of an audience, each clap reverberating through the soul like a symphonic crescendo. The euphoria of attention is a heady rush, a siren call that beckons with promises of validation and self-worth. The allure of attention is a powerful drug, coursing through the veins, infusing every cell with a sense of invincibility. It's a delicate dance of mirrors, reflecting back an amplified version of oneself, polished and pristine. The eyes of others become a canvas, painting the self-portrait of a flawless persona, each gaze a brushstroke adding depth and dimension to the image one wishes to project. Every glance, every whisper of acknowledgement is a morsel of affirmation, feeding a hunger that is both insatiable and relentless. It is a feast laid out before the soul, a banquet of admiration and envy, where the line between reality and fantasy blurs into a kaleidoscope of shimmering illusions. The world becomes a stage, and life, a performance, where the script is written in the ink of others' perceptions. Yet, within this euphoria lies an intricate web of contradictions. The pursuit of attention is a double-edged sword, sharp and gleaming, capable of cutting through the fabric of self-awareness. On one side, it offers a fleeting sense of immortality, a belief that to be seen is to exist in perpetuity. On the other, it threatens to unravel the very core of authenticity, leaving behind a hollow echo of borrowed identities. The quest for attention is a dance with shadows, a perpetual chase after an ever-elusive spotlight. It is a masquerade, where masks of confidence and charisma are worn with practiced ease, concealing the fragile truth beneath. The applause is a symphony that drowns out the silence of insecurity, a cacophony that silences the whispers of doubt that linger in the corners of the mind. There is a seductive charm in the art of being noticed, a magnetic pull that draws one towards the center of the universe, where gravity is defined by the weight of others' gazes. It is a realm where the lines of reality blur into a tapestry of crafted personas, each thread woven with the intent to captivate, to mesmerize, to hold the world in thrall. In this dance of light and shadow, the euphoria of attention becomes a delicate balancing act, a tightrope walk across a chasm of self-doubt. It is a journey into the heart of narcissism, where the desire to be adored eclipses the need to be understood. The applause fades, the spotlight dims, yet the craving for recognition remains, an eternal flame that flickers in the heart of the narcissist, forever seeking the warmth of validation amid the cold solitude of self-infatuation. The euphoria of attention is both a blessing and a curse, a fleeting moment of glory that leaves behind a lingering shadow. It is the siren song of the narcissist, a melody that resonates deep within, echoing the eternal longing to be seen, to be known, to be adored. The desperation for approval. In the labyrinth of a narcissist's mind, the craving for approval is omnipresent, akin to an insatiable beast lurking beneath a veneer of confidence. This relentless pursuit of validation is not merely a desire, but a necessity, a vital element that fuels their existence and fortifies their fragile sense of self-worth. For them, approval is the lifeline that binds together the fragmented pieces of their identity. In every interaction, there lies an unspoken plea for acknowledgement, a yearning to be seen and admired. The narcissist's world is a stage, and they are both the director and the star of their own grandiose play. Applause is their sustenance, and without it, the carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. Each compliment is a drop of nectar, momentarily soothing their restless ego, while criticism acts as a venomous barb, threatening to unravel their carefully spun illusion. The desperation for approval manifests in myriad ways. It can be subtle, like a whisper carried on the wind, or brazen, akin to a thunderous demand echoing through a silent hall. In conversations, they often steer the narrative back to themselves, weaving tales that place them at the epicenter of admiration. Their words are tailored to elicit praise, each sentence a calculated maneuver to extract the desired responses from their audience. Social media, a modern-day mirror reflecting back-curated images of self, becomes a fertile ground for their quest. Here, they meticulously craft their persona, each post a testament to their perceived greatness. The number of likes and comments serves as a tangible measure of their worth, a barometer for their self-esteem. Yet, even in the digital realm, the hunger for validation is never truly satiated, for it is a fleeting satisfaction that dissipates with the next scroll. In relationships, this desperation often casts a shadow, obscuring genuine connection. Partners and friends may find themselves ensnared in a web of manipulation, their own needs overshadowed by the narcissist's insistent demands for admiration. Love becomes conditional, tethered to the frequency of accolades. The narcissist may oscillate between charm and disdain, their behavior a reflection of the approval or lack thereof received from those around them. But beneath the bravado lies an abyss of insecurity, a vulnerability that the narcissist is loath to confront. Their self-image is a house of cards, precariously balanced on the opinions of others. The fear of exposure, of being found unworthy, looms large, driving them to seek constant reassurance. It is a paradoxical existence where the need for validation both empowers and enslaves them. In the end, the desperation for approval is a double-edged sword, offering momentary relief while perpetuating an endless cycle of dependency. The narcissist remains trapped in their own reflection, forever chasing the elusive promise of acceptance, ever fearful of the silence that follows when the applause fades. In this relentless pursuit, they sacrifice authenticity, trading true connection for the hollow echoes of admiration. The web of relationships. The idealization phase. In the labyrinth of human relationships, few dynamics are as bewildering as those involving a narcissist. At the heart of this intricate dance lies the idealization phase, a dazzling yet deceptive beginning that draws one into the narcissist's orbit with an enchanting allure. It is a stage where reality is suspended and fantasy reigns supreme, creating a compelling illusion of perfection. The initial encounter with a narcissist is often marked by an overwhelming sense of charm and charisma. It's as if a spotlight has been cast upon you, illuminating your best qualities and magnifying them to celestial proportions. The narcissist, with their innate ability to read people, quickly discerns your desires, fears, and vulnerabilities. They mirror your dreams, echo your ambitions, and reflect an image of yourself that is both captivating and intoxicating. In this stage, the narcissist is a master of flattery and admiration, Compliments flow like a river, each one carefully crafted to make you feel unique and extraordinary. Their attention feels like a warm, enveloping embrace, leaving no room for doubt or insecurity. The narcissist's gaze is intense, their focus unwavering, making you feel like the center of their universe. Conversations during this phase are often exhilarating. The narcissist listens intently, seemingly mesmerized by every word you utter. They nod in understanding, interject with insightful comments, and weave tales of their own experiences that resonate with yours. It's a symphony of shared interests and mutual admiration, where every note strikes a harmonious chord. This period is also characterized by grand gestures and promises of a future filled with endless possibilities. The narcissist paints a vivid picture of a life together, one that is brimming with excitement and adventure. They speak of plans and dreams that align perfectly with yours, creating a shared vision that is both alluring and irresistible. Yet, beneath this veneer of perfection lies a subtle undercurrent of manipulation. The idealization phase is not merely an expression of affection, but a calculated strategy to secure your devotion. The narcissist's praise and attention are not unconditional. They are contingent upon your unwavering admiration and compliance. It is a delicate balance, where every interaction is a test of your loyalty and adoration. As the idealization phase progresses, the boundaries between reality and illusion begin to blur. The narcissist's charm is so potent that it becomes easy to overlook any red flags or inconsistencies. Their ability to shift and adapt makes them seem endlessly fascinating, a puzzle that is both intricate and intriguing. In this phase, the world seems brighter, colors more vivid, and emotions more intense. The allure of the narcissist is akin to a siren's call, drawing you deeper into their world with each passing day. It is a time of euphoria, where every moment feels like a page from a fairy tale. Yet, as with all illusions, the idealization phase is fleeting. It is but the first act in a complex narrative, setting the stage for the unfolding drama that lies ahead. But in this moment, suspended in time, the idealization phase is a heady blend of enchantment and deception, a prelude to the intricate dance that is life with a narcissist. The devaluation game. In the intricate labyrinth of a narcissist's mind, the devaluation phase emerges as a calculated dance of manipulation and control. Initially, they present a facade of charm and allure, weaving a web of admiration and enchantment. However, beneath this veneer lies a predatory instinct, poised to dismantle the very foundations they once seemed to cherish. The devaluation game is a subtle orchestration of psychological warfare where the narcissist meticulously strips away the esteem of their chosen target. It begins with slight criticisms, artfully disguised as constructive feedback, yet laced with a venom that seeps into the crevices of self-worth. Compliments become scarce, replaced by backhanded remarks that linger like shadows, casting doubt on one's capabilities and identity. This phase is characterized by an insidious erosion of confidence. The narcissist employs tactics that are both overt and covert, leaving their victim in a state of perpetual confusion. They may feign forgetfulness of significant dates or accomplishments, diminishing their partner's achievements while inflating their own. In social settings, subtle put-downs are delivered with a smile, leaving the recipient questioning their perception of reality. The game intensifies as the narcissist begins to withdraw affection, creating a chasm of emotional distance. The warmth and attention that once flowed freely now become a scarce commodity, doled out sparingly to maintain control. This calculated withholding fosters a sense of dependency, as the victim yearns for the validation that was once abundant. Gaslighting becomes a favored tool in this arsenal as the narcissist distorts facts and rewrites history to suit their narrative. They challenge the victim's memories, sowing seeds of doubt until the person begins to question their sanity. This psychological manipulation serves to isolate the target from their support network, rendering them more susceptible to the narcissist's influence. In this dark symphony, the narcissist deftly plays the role of both hero and villain, alternating between moments of feigned vulnerability and cold detachment. They may offer fleeting glimpses of the person they were during the idealization phase, only to retract it just as swiftly, perpetuating a cycle of hope and despair. As the devaluation progresses, the victim finds themselves caught in a relentless storm of emotional turmoil. They oscillate between striving to regain the narcissist's favor and succumbing to the despair of constant belittlement. The narcissist, meanwhile, revels in this chaos, drawing energy from the power they wield over another's sense of self. Yet, beneath this facade of control lies a profound insecurity within the narcissist, a fear of their own inadequacy that fuels their need to diminish others. The devaluation game is not merely a tactic of manipulation, but a reflection of the narcissist's inner turmoil, projected onto those unfortunate enough to enter their orbit. In the end, the devaluation phase serves as a grim testament to the narcissist's insatiable hunger for dominance and validation. It is a game with no winners, leaving only a trail of fractured souls and shattered illusions in its wake. Discarding bonds. In the quiet corners of our lives, where trust and loyalty weave the fabric of relationships, there exists an unsettling phenomenon that often goes unnoticed until it has left a trail of emotional chaos. It is the act of discarding bonds, a process so subtle yet so devastating that it leaves one questioning the very essence of human connection. This chapter delves into the intricate tapestry of emotions and motivations that drive the narcissist to sever ties with those they once deemed indispensable. Imagine a garden, vibrant and full of life, where each plant represents a relationship nurtured with care and attention. The narcissist, however, views this garden through a different lens. To them, relationships are mere transactions, valued only for their immediate utility. When a bond no longer serves their purpose or ceases to bolster their fragile ego, they turn to pruning, snipping away connections without remorse or hesitation. This process of discarding is neither abrupt nor impulsive. It is a calculated maneuver, executed with precision and often masked by a veneer of charm and rationality. The narcissist's ability to detach emotionally, coupled with their innate talent for manipulation, allows them to reframe the narrative, casting themselves as the victim or the hero in the story of dissolution. The discarded individual, left grappling with confusion and heartache, often finds themselves questioning their own worth and role in the unraveling. The emotional landscape of those left behind is akin to a barren wasteland, stripped of the warmth and vitality that once flourished. Feelings of betrayal and abandonment settle in, accompanied by a profound sense of loss. The narcissist, however, remains unscathed, their focus already shifted to new conquests, new sources of admiration and validation. This cycle of discarding and acquiring is not just a pattern, but a deeply ingrained mechanism that sustains their distorted self-image. It is essential to understand the underlying motivations that drive this behavior. At the core lies an insatiable need for control and superiority, a hunger that can never be truly satiated. The narcissist's self-worth is inextricably tied to external validation, and any perceived threat to their dominance, no matter how minor, is met with swift and decisive action. Discarding bonds becomes a means of self-52 preservation, a way to protect the fragile construct of their identity. For those entangled in the web of a narcissistic relationship, the aftermath of being discarded can be a tumultuous journey of self-discovery and healing. It demands a reevaluation of personal boundaries and an exploration of one's own vulnerabilities. The process of rebuilding trust and embracing solitude is fraught with challenges, yet it also offers an opportunity for growth and resilience. In this chapter, we unravel the complexities of discarding bonds, shedding light on the psychological underpinnings that drive this behavior. Through understanding and awareness, we can begin to dismantle the myths surrounding narcissistic relationships and take the first steps towards reclaiming our sense of self-worth and autonomy. The journey may be arduous, but it is one that ultimately leads to a deeper understanding of the human condition and the intricate dance of relationships. The push and pull. The dance of a narcissist unfolds in a delicate balance, an intricate choreography of emotions that draws you in and then casts you away. It is a performance of grandiosity and manipulation, where the spotlight shines brightly on their perceived brilliance, only to dim in moments of calculated neglect. This dynamic is a cycle of attraction and repulsion, a relentless push and pull that keeps you teetering on the edge of certainty and chaos. In the beginning, there is a magnetic allure. The narcissist presents an image of charm and confidence, a persona so captivating that it becomes difficult to resist. Their words are honeyed, their gestures impeccable, and their attention feels like a warm embrace. You are drawn into their orbit, captivated by the intensity of their focus and the promise of something extraordinary. It is an intoxicating experience, one that leaves you yearning for more. Yet, as quickly as the warmth envelops you, it can vanish. The narcissist, like a master puppeteer, knows when to withdraw, leaving you in a state of confusion and longing. It is in this absence that the true nature of the push and pull reveals itself. You find yourself questioning your worth, wondering what you did to cause the sudden shift. It is a deliberate act, a calculated move to assert control and keep you tethered to their whims. The cycle continues, a relentless ebb and flow of emotions that becomes all too familiar. Moments of affection and validation are followed by periods of cold detachment. The narcissist is a master of reinvention, always knowing when to return with just enough charm to reignite your hope. It is a strategy designed to keep you on edge, constantly seeking approval and validation, always striving to regain the warmth that once seemed so abundant. Within this dynamic, there is a profound sense of instability. The push and pull creates an emotional roller coaster, where highs are exhilarating but the lows are devastating. It is a psychological game, one where the rules are ever-changing, and the goal is always just out of reach. The narcissist thrives in this environment, drawing energy from the chaos they create, while their partner is left to navigate a maze of contradictions. As the cycle perpetuates, it becomes increasingly difficult to discern reality from illusion. The narcissist's ability to manipulate perception is unparalleled, creating a world where their needs and desires are paramount. In this world, you are both a cherished companion and a disposable pawn, depending on the role that best suits their narrative at any given moment. The push and pull is more than a mere interaction. It is a testament to the complexities of human relationships and the power of manipulation. It is a reminder that not all connections are as they seem, and that the dance with a narcissist is one that can leave lasting scars. Yet, within this tumultuous relationship, there is also a lesson in resilience, a call to recognize one's own worth and to seek balance amidst the chaos. In understanding the push and pull, there lies the potential for liberation, a chance to break free from the cycle and to find a path to genuine connection and self-acceptance. The cycle of dependency. In the intricate dance of human relationships, few patterns are as complex and insidious as the cycle of dependency that often emerges around a narcissist. This cycle is a self-perpetuating loop, where the narcissist draws individuals into their orbit, only to keep them ensnared in a web of emotional and psychological needs. Understanding this cycle demands a closer look at the dynamics at play, revealing the subtle yet powerful forces that maintain the narcissist's control. At the heart of this cycle lies the narcissist's insatiable need for admiration and validation. Initially, they project an alluring charm and confidence, drawing people in with promises of shared success and emotional fulfillment. Their charisma can be intoxicating, creating an illusion of security and belonging for those who seek approval or companionship. It is during this initial phase that the narcissist's potential for dependency begins to take root. As the relationship deepens, the narcissist's true nature starts to emerge. What was once an idealized connection turns into a more transactional dynamic. The narcissist's demands for attention and affirmation become more pronounced, often manifesting as subtle manipulations or overt requests. The individual, who may have initially been captivated by the narcissist's charisma, finds themselves catering to these needs, often at the expense of their own well-being. This dependency is further entrenched by the narcissist's use of intermittent reinforcement. They alternate between periods of affection and approval with moments of withdrawal or criticism. This unpredictable behavior keeps the individual in a state of heightened emotional arousal, always striving to regain the narcissist's favor. The unpredictability of their affections creates a powerful psychological hook, making it difficult for the individual to break free. Moreover, the narcissist often employs tactics such as gaslighting, where they distort reality to maintain dominance. By undermining the individual's perception of events and eroding their self-confidence, the narcissist ensures that their dependency remains intact. The individual becomes increasingly reliant on the narcissist for validation and guidance, doubting their own judgments and instincts. Over time, this dependency takes a toll on the individual's self-esteem and autonomy. They may find themselves isolated from other sources of support, as the narcissist subtly discourages outside relationships that could threaten their control. The cycle perpetuates as the individual becomes more enmeshed in the narcissist's world, their own needs and desires overshadowed by the constant demand for attention and approval. Breaking free from this cycle requires a conscious effort to regain independence and self-worth. Recognizing the patterns of manipulation and reclaiming one's identity are crucial steps in dismantling the dependency. It involves rebuilding self-esteem, seeking support from trusted friends or professionals, and setting firm boundaries to protect against future entanglements. Understanding the cycle of dependency is not only vital for those directly involved, but also for anyone who wishes to comprehend the complexities of narcissistic relationships. By illuminating the subtle mechanisms that sustain this cycle, we can better equip ourselves to navigate and ultimately dismantle the hold of narcissistic influence.